exist. But I do. I'm not a child anymore. I'm something they've never seen, and they should be afraid.
They should be afraid, because if they touch her, even
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Twilight Saga 6 continues the epic romance and supernatural drama of the beloved series, diving deeper into the complex world of vampires, werewolves, and human lives caught in the crossfire. The story begins after the events of the previous installment, with Bella Swan and Edward Cullen now facing new challenges as they navigate their lives together as a married couple. The opening sequences establish both domestic life and looming external threats, balancing tender, emotional moments with suspenseful tension. Bella has embraced her role as a vampire, learning to harness her powers and instincts while adapting to her immortal existence, yet she remains fiercely connected to her humanity and her love for Edward. The narrative emphasizes the challenges of balancing eternal life with love, responsibility, and moral choices. Deepening the emotional stakes for both central characters, the plot introduces a new antagonist threatening the fragile peace between vampires and humans. Updates suggest this villain is a cunning, resourceful vampire with a personal vendetta, whose influence destabilizes the supernatural community and tests alliances. This antagonist challenges not only the physical strength of Edward and the Cullen family, but also their moral judgment, strategic thinking, and emotional resilience. The story explores themes of loyalty, family, and the consequences of power, highlighting that threats to peace often arise from betrayal, misunderstanding, or ambition. These tensions set the stage for a narrative that is both thrilling and emotionally complex, providing suspense while deepening the audience's understanding of the series. Supernatural world. Bella's journey is central to the narrative, as she grapples with the responsibilities of motherhood, immortality, and love. Updates indicate that she must protect her family from external threats while confronting internal doubts about her ability to balance personal desires with the safety of those she loves. Her evolution from a human teenager to a powerful, compassionate vampire is explored in depth, showing growth, maturity, and resilience. Her perspective highlights the emotional and moral dilemmas faced by beings who live beyond the constraints of time, emphasizing themes of empathy, sacrifice, and identity. These moments provide an intimate counterpoint to the suspense and action. Grounding the story in human emotion despite its supernatural context, Edward Cullen remains a stalwart figure, blending romantic devotion with strategic thinking and supernatural power. Updates suggest that his role involves protecting both Bella and the larger Cullen family from emerging threats, while also navigating internal conflicts within the vampire community. Edward's character development emphasizes loyalty, wisdom, and the challenges of immortality, exploring how love and duty intersect in the face of danger. His relationship with Bella continues to serve as the emotional anchor of the series, balancing tension, romance, and mutual growth. Their interactions demonstrate the depth of their connection, revealing how trust, communication, and shared values are essential for navigating both love and life in a supernatural world. The narrative expands the focus on the Cullen family and allied supernatural beings. Jacob Black and the Quileute werewolf pack play a significant role, bringing their own moral code, loyalty, and strength to the story. Updates indicate that the tension between vampires and werewolves resurfaces in unexpected ways, forcing old allies to cooperate against common threats. This dynamic adds complexity to the narrative, exploring themes of reconciliation, trust, and the challenges of bridging cultural and supernatural divides. The interactions between vampires and werewolves provide both conflict and humor, enriching the story with layered character dynamics and emotional depth. Action and suspense sequences are carefully integrated into the narrative, emphasizing both strategy and character development. Bella, Edward, and their allies face challenges ranging from stealth missions and confrontations with rival vampires to high-stakes battles, where quick thinking and teamwork determine survival. Updates highlight the importance of supernatural abilities, strategic planning, and emotional awareness in overcoming obstacles. These sequences balance tension and spectacle with personal stakes, ensuring that every confrontation advances character arcs, explores moral dilemmas, and reinforces central themes of loyalty, courage, and resilience. Romantic elements remain central to the saga, exploring the depth, challenges, and evolution of Bella and Edward's relationship. Updates suggest that the story delves into the nuances of love under extraordinary circumstances, emphasizing communication, trust, and the sacrifices required to sustain a relationship in a supernatural world. Moments of tenderness, intimacy, and vulnerability are interwoven with suspense and danger, ensuring that romance is not merely a subplot but a driving force for emotional resonance. The narrative demonstrates how love and partnership can provide strength in the face of adversity, reinforcing the series' enduring thematic focus on connection, empathy, and commitment. Family bonds are also explored in depth, as the Cullen family confronts new threats, moral dilemmas, and the responsibilities of protecting both their own and human lives. Updates indicate that sibling relationships, parental responsibilities, and loyalty to allies are tested, revealing both the strength and fragility of familial connections. These dynamics provide emotional weight to the narrative, highlighting that supernatural power carries both privilege and responsibility. Characters must navigate trust, sacrifice, and the challenges of balancing personal desires with collective safety, ensuring that the story remains emotionally grounded amidst supernatural action. The antagonist's strategy is multifaceted, targeting not only the Cullen family but also the larger supernatural and human communities. Updates suggest that the villain manipulates alliances, exploits fears, and orchestrates events to destabilize the fragile peace, creating suspense and tension throughout the film. The narrative emphasizes the importance of intelligence, foresight, and ethical decision-making in overcoming threats, highlighting that true power lies not merely in strength but in wisdom, empathy, and moral integrity. These elements ensure that conflict is engaging, multi-layered, and emotionally impactful, keeping audiences invested in both plot and character development. Plot developments also explore the ethical challenges of immortality. Bella, Edward, and their allies must make decisions about intervention, protection, and restraint, balancing personal desires with broader consequences. Updates indicate that these dilemmas are central to character growth, demonstrating the complexities of navigating power, responsibility, and empathy in a world where ordinary human limitations no longer apply. The narrative examines the interplay between choice and consequence, emphasizing that even beings with extraordinary abilities must grapple with moral ambiguity, accountability, and the ethical implications of their actions. The story's climax brings together the central characters in a high-stakes confrontation with the antagonist, integrating both physical and strategic elements. Updates highlight the careful choreography of battles, the use of supernatural abilities, and the interplay between human ingenuity and vampiric power. Emotional stakes peak as characters confront personal fears, relationships are tested, and sacrifices are made to protect loved ones and uphold moral principles. The resolution balances action and emotion, ensuring that the climax is both thrilling and thematically satisfying, reinforcing central themes of love, loyalty, and the triumph of integrity over ambition and cruelty. Resolution sequences emphasize restoration, reflection, and the enduring bonds between characters. Bella and Edward reaffirm their connection. The Cullen family demonstrates resilience and unity, and the supernatural world stabilizes after the antagonist's defeat. Updates indicate that while immediate threats are neutralized, the story leaves room for ongoing adventures, reflecting the continuing evolution of characters and their relationships. Themes of hope, perseverance, and moral courage resonate throughout the conclusion, providing closure while maintaining narrative richness and potential for future installments. Visual storytelling is a cornerstone of Twilight Saga 6, with updates suggesting that cinematography emphasizes atmosphere, mood, and character emotion. Scenes alternate between the intimate and the epic, capturing both the personal struggles of Bella and Edward and the grandeur of supernatural confrontations. Lighting, color palette, and composition are used to reinforce emotional beats, highlight suspense, and underscore thematic elements such as love, loyalty, and moral choice. The result is a visually cohesive and emotionally resonant cinematic experience that engages viewers on multiple levels. Sound design and musical scoring complement visual storytelling, enhancing tension, romance, and emotional resonance. Updates indicate that carefully curated tracks underscore key moments, from tender interactions to suspenseful confrontations, weaving music and sound into the narrative fabric. The auditory experience heightens audience engagement, emphasizing emotional stakes, dramatic tension, and the supernatural atmosphere of the saga. Music functions both as narrative reinforcement and as a means of connecting viewers to the emotional core of the story. Themes of love, loyalty, family, and moral responsibility are explored consistently, providing the narrative with depth and universality. Updates suggest that Twilight Saga 6 continues to examine